You're listening to the RE Social Podcast with your hosts, Andrew and Vince from OnV Invest. For more information, go to onvinvest.com.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Andrew and Vince from OnV Invest, and we are excited to bring you another episode on the RE Social Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about one of the specialties that we do, and specifically that Vince is so good at, which is being creative and just basically structuring deals. The fact that we've acquired so much so fast, and we're higher income earners in general.
Yeah, we make six figures.
Yeah, but I mean, it's how we've scaled is just silly.
We are considered below poverty line in Orange County, though.
Yeah.
We're on food stamps,
we're
guys.
on food stamps in Orange County, though.
We make $250,000. We're on food stamps.
Yeah, exactly. But for real though, it's been really fun, kind of seeing Vince put together these deals and just kind of almost in his head on the fly, working out ways of just getting the next deal. And I think there's a lot of value that we can give you guys on this. So I want to go ahead and start by just saying, if you're going to get involved in real estate, definitely read as much as you can, but you will never read more than Vince has. And so that's part of the reason why I think he's able to get so creative, because there's all these different tools in his tool belt. And so, Vince, I want to just kind of pull it back onto you. I think I want you to talk for most of this podcast, since this is mostly your thing. Tell the audience, like, how have you done so much with so little?
So, thanks for the intro.
That's a setup.
The interesting thing that I've noticed in this space is the amount of money you make, or the amount of deals you do, or the amount of assets you hold is directly proportional to the amount of value you bring to the table. That's what I've noticed. Soundbite, right? So what I have noticed is, this is what I've noticed with my life. Most of the time, people don't see you what you're worth.
Yeah.
But if you're very confident, and if you know you're worth something, you can project that image or that reality to other people. I think that's what I've figured out with real estate, because I can go talk to anybody about real estate. I can have a good conversation, right? So if I have that kind of knowledge in things, I know I can bring value to the table, right? Because if you don't see me as the person with value, I don't care. Like, it's like something you do with dating, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you go talk to the girl, like, you have entitlement, right? Sure. Same thing. So I go talk to someone.
You just innately know, like,
I just
bringing
know
value to this situation. Yeah.
Like, we went to this open house yesterday, and then people were like, I'm gonna put $7,800 over asking, and I'm like, why are you even here? Like, and that's the first thing I'm thinking in my head. Like, why did you leave your house is my first thought, right? Because do you know this market, right? So people don't understand actually what is going on. Mm-hmm. And if you do, and if you have like a very deep understanding of how the money printing works, how the inflation works, what is devaluing the US dollar, and then you start to kind of like see the matrix, and you can kind of see things like, this money doesn't even matter, right? Yeah. We offered $250,000 over asking for a house, in Orange County. Ridiculous. Am I going to pay that much? I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But it doesn't matter to me. But I am in contract. Mm-hmm. You just lost the contract because of me, right?
Yep.
So if you understand certain things, and if you have a very deep understanding, people will kind of innately see that, and then they would want to work with you. So that, I think, is the value I bring to the table.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, and it just putting money together and splitting the equity has been, that's like, it's a whole new category of just, I think, that not many people are very familiar with. How typically do we structure something, just for the audience to know, like, how are we scaling up so fast? What's like an average scenario? I obviously know, but I want you to tell the audience, as if no one knows anything.
So the basic scenario is, people give us the down payment. And this is very common. Like, you could go Google. This is not some great thing I invented, Vince the guru, right?
Yeah.
This is very common. Is you get, let's say there's a $100,000 house, you need $20,000 or $25,000 to go in, right? Mm-hmm. There's down payment, right? Mm-hmm. You finance the rest. we will take that money from someone, let's say your mom, my sister, or whoever, and then they will own 50% of the house, and we'll own 50%. I like to put the loan in their names because we already have a lot of loans. If not, we'll figure out something, right? Either I can put in my name or your name. But that's the basics, and then we'll split everything 50-50. What I do is I just give them a straight return because I don't want to do math for 10 different partners. So that's the basics of it. So that's like number one. But how I do it based on different deals, that's when it gets really interesting and like complicated. That's the fun part for me, how we can make the deal work. Like the deal we just did with our buddy K1, right? If I was not involved in the deal, there is 0% chance anybody could have closed that deal. Not even 1% chance.
Let's can we walk through that a little bit actually?
Yeah, we can walk
we
through
should
that
go
deal.
a little,
Yeah, we have to give the disclaimer to K1 now.
The disclaimer though, yeah. We sent it to him like, hey man.
Hey man,
so we talked about you a bit.
Yeah.
That was an interesting deal in which we had a bit of a snag come up where our partner, our buddy, who we just had dinner with last night, great dude, he had a car, Tesla, and needed to pay that sucker off because his DTI was too high with it. DTI is debt to income ratio. And so we basically had to get really creative. Tell the audience, without getting too in depth,
We'll keep like rough numbers. It's not a big deal. Yeah. So pretty much, guys, I mean, how we do deals is, right, we're going to raise money from some friends and family, and we're going to give them half the deal, right? So let's say for this one, it's about like $500,000, something like that. It's it's like 470 something, but who cares? We'll keep it simple. It's $500,000 deal. It's a duplex in Mentone, California. Great property, right? So banks don't like if your debt to income goes towards 50%. And then after that, they will not lend, which means that if your monthly obligations are $2,000 and you make, $5,000, your debt to income is 40% already, right? So then you only have $1,000 of mortgage you can borrow to get the loan, right? So for our buddy, what was happening was we did all this math, and then we figured out at the end, well, because of his car payment, now, he can't really buy this house, and we are already in escrow. We've been in it for like $20,000, EMD, earnest money deposit, all that stuff, right? So we need to come up with like $36,000 to pay off this car. Who's got, I don't have $36,000, but I know people who do, right? So that is I like to think of myself as like a very good people connector, right? Yeah. So if I make a phone call to someone saying that, hey, I need $36,000, I can get it. Yeah. Right. So because they trust me that, there's no contract. I didn't sign a contract with K1 to say, hey, you need to write this down.
It's based on your and our reputation.
It's just reputation, and he's our homie. We don't really care.
Yeah, and it's all friends. And it's all family
friends, stuff. Right? Yeah. So we're not going to, I actually, you guys think that I just randomly do this. This is something even you might not know is I do certain things just to do it, just to like make a point. Like, for example, I bought a house and I gave it to Drew. I'm not even on title on that house, right? So I'm just telling Drew, I dare you to steal this house from me.
He doesn't know, but tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow he could.
It, and I'm moving to Spain.
Yeah, he could. he could sell it and move it to Spain. To Spain, right? But I am saying I am so valuable that if you do that, you lose me. You will be a moron to do that, right? And I do it with very, very specific people. JK has a house with us, right? It's a triplex.
Yeah, people we trust and know.
It's like $200,000. I'm not on title.
Yeah.
JK could sell the house, make the money, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, one with Steve too.
Well, and that's the power of brand. I talk about this with my business and how I built kind of something out of nothing, and how we're doing that with OnV. Everything is brand. If you listen to Gary Vee and all that, I'm like super into all that stuff. It's all brand. Forget everything else. It's so funny. Even just last night, as we were leaving Kayvon's place, we had dinner with him and his wife and his little Violet. She's the cutest baby in the world.
She's like jumping on the table, eating all the stuff.
Dude, oh my god, she's so amazing. Anyways, but so we were heading back, and you're like, dude, there's so many Teslas. And I'm like, dude, I know. They're just like, they keep. It's like more and more and more. Like everywhere I'm looking, there's Tesla. And this is coming from somebody who I'm actually seeing this too, because I'm looking at hopefully buying a car, and somewhere in the future. I'm not really in a hurry, but I'm looking at this point. So, and Tesla's on the consideration. But anyways, and I was like, hey, have you seen one Tesla ad? And you're like, they don't even advertise. I'm like, exactly. That's how good their brand is. And Elon knew that. He just like make a great product, great service. What's so hard about that? You don't need to advertise. And it just blew my mind. As someone who has like another business and then with us, I do think, marketing is important. Advertising is important. But man, it doesn't matter if you're just that good. And I know a lot of our progress has been kind of on the back of just the fact that we keep moving forward, we keep making it happen, and we keep being successful with it. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice to be in that kind of position, and that where to have people trust you. And I'm at this position now where I got friends who call me and just say, "Hey, I've just got $75,000 from this thing, and I've been seeing your stuff, and I don't know, what do I do?"
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. And it's always very flattering when people are asking me, how can I invest this with you or with myself? And I was like, let's go, let's do this, because I don't want to be on the top of the mountain by myself. It's a little bit lonely up there.
Yeah.
That's my whole joke, but I'm kind of serious, and so the power of brand is huge. And that's how we built that. And that's how you're able to pull off these creative strategies. That, and also the fact that you're just so darn knowledgeable. I mean, let's be honest, you've read more books about real estate than I probably ever could keep up with. And then all the podcasts, so Grant Cardone said it, in a book titled Be Obsessed or Be Average. And that's exactly right. You kind of have to, because there's so much noise now. There's so much competition that if you're not obsessed, you don't leave your house, because you're already going to be just average at best.
Yeah, I heard this somewhere. I don't know if we mentioned this in another episode. It's I like to say I don't listen to people who have less than me. It's like I can't give you advice on how to play C major 7 on a guitar. Right. Maybe on the piano.
Yeah, you know though. Yeah, it's a bad analogy because you actually are a musician.
Yeah, but I mean for like how to teach music.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, of course.
Why would you? If you listen to me, you're a moron, right?
Yep.
Because you're a music teacher. That's your profession, right? So it's like, so if somebody is telling me not to buy, like everybody and their mom, what they told me in the beginning of pandemic, don't buy anything, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna close. So
everyone's like, market's gonna crash.
Market's gonna crash.
How many units did we acquire in the middle of the pandemic?
We had 5 units, and we had $400,000 worth of assets under management. By February, we should be at $4 million plus, right? So that's what is that, 2 years?
Yeah, and we're just coming out of the pandemic, would you say? Hopefully. Fingers
Probably
crossed,
never.
everybody.
Yeah.
I'm too optimistic, but
We're out here wearing 7 masks, guys.
Point is 2 years have gone by, and it went from $400K to $4 mil. And that's in the middle of a time where everyone's, saying run for the hills. Me as a realtor, I run into this issue quite a bit with my friends. Because now that I know the power of real estate, I'm like Sermon on the Mount. Like I'm on my Matchbox. Like you need it. Like the guy, called me. He wanted to rent some new place, and I don't know why he thought I would help him, or how I could. Well, I guess I could as a realtor technically, but anyways.
Realtors actually do show open houses.
Right. I get it. I'm like, no. It's like, just you'll figure it out. But the point is I'm like, dude, no, you buy. What are you sitting on? Like this, I straight go right into like finances. What's happening? I'm not shy about it. Because if you tell me what you're doing and what you're earning, well, we can be creative. We can find a solution to get you into something. Are you a vet? Oh, now we're talking 0% down. So all these questions are coming up for me whenever someone is just considering, moving. I'm like, well, okay, so hold on. Can you buy though? But can you buy? Like, anyone sitting on, a nice, 6 months of living expenses like cushion, great. And then beyond that, I get mad with. I'm like, what are you? Dude, your money is dying. You had $100,000 last year. Today, it's $94,000 buying power. That's
actually
just
93. They said 7%.
I know 7. You're right. 93. Yeah. You're right. Oh my God, you lost more money because it's sitting in there.
You had to make 7% on your money just to break even.
Yeah, and so oh my God, that's right. That's so crazy. So I get preachy about it, and oh man, I totally rabbit trailed and forgot what we were talking about and why I got off on this.
Creative age.
Something being about a realtor. Oh man, I totally lost it. I don't know, but the point is even as a realtor, I'm really passionate about it, and that's what it was. People keep talking about how the the bubble's gonna burst and things like this, and who knows? Maybe down the road it will. I don't know, but I definitely know that guys are a lot smarter than me.
Correctly.
What's that?
That's why you have to do your numbers correctly.
Yeah. But I know that, experts way smarter than myself, everyone weighing in is predicting quite the opposite.
Have you listened to this one? This is the best one. Experts have predicted the market will either go up or down.
What's that? What do you mean?
That's the joke.
That's the joke. Yeah. Even a clock can be right twice a day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's like, yeah, bro, of course it's going to go up or down. What are you doing with it? Right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, as of this moment, this is January 2022. That's definitely not predicted to happen. Rates just shot up, so supply is still an issue.
mm-hmm.
There's just so much more at play than there was in 2008. And in fact, I can understand, we're kind of rabbit trailing, sorry, but there's value in this.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2008, things took a dump, and anyone who was, leveraged definitely got caught with their pants down, and it's unfortunate. But this is very different market conditions in every way. There's no longer these predatory lending practices. We know, because the forums to just even get things moving are like, oh my God, filling out forms is my least favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
I'm terrible at
the
it.
notary comes over, can we hire this out? And she's
Yeah.
like, no.
I haven't renewed my passport because of forms. I should do that. Like, it's bad. Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the creative strategies.
Sorry, we rabbit trail a little bit.
We can, these creative strategies for investing, it could be used for different things. Like, I should talk about the way I bought my car, right?
Yeah.
That's like.
Let's talk about it. Because you know why? Because
Mhm.
in general, this is kind of what you do. You're just
Mhm.
like a creative problem solver at work,
Yeah.
with real estate, and then with the car situation. You love this. You have a problem.
Even if you ask my boss Ryan, he will tell you that I'm not the best in like doing doing documents and doing like regular like the job I'm expected to do, but I'm pretty decent at problem solving. So I try to teach people use creative strategies. Why am I so creative? Because I am broke. Like I don't have a lot of money. I come from India and all that stuff.
Cash poor, asset rich.
Yeah, if I have like $100, I'll throw $80 into a house, right? And
real though.
Yeah, for real. Like I probably have like $2,000 in my bank account, right? Worth like $1 million.
Yeah.
How much money do you have? I have nothing. Right? I'm gonna try to buy $1 million house with $80. But let's talk about the way I bought a car. Actually, a couple of my buddies have it too. So, one of the, things I always troll people is buying new cars, right? And I bought a brand new 2022.
You didn't even tell me either.
Yeah,
I remember showing up and you had a new car. I was like, you've been yelling at me and everyone I know about this car situation.
So let's break down the numbers so people know. So this is how creative you could be, and then we can talk about the credit card.
This is the pen and pad moment, by the way.
Pen and
Pause
pad.
this, grab a pen and paper.
This thing, it doesn't matter like to what I am doing, but you could do things like this always to make your, to skew your life towards making you successful, right? So my car I have is a $50,000 car. Right, and I bought it brand new off the lot, and it had 7 miles on it. Right, there is nothing worse you could do with your money than buy that car. Like literally, like you could have actually burned it. Probably would have been like better, like have more fun, right? So why did I do that? Does that even make sense, right? So let me break it down. So we live in California. California has a lot of credits to buy certain things, and this is a hydrogen fuel cell car by Toyota, right? So the car is $50,000, and I got an immediate $20,000 rebate, because they had some kind of promotion. So
that's a state promotion?
That's just Toyota.
Just Toyota?
Toyota offering that.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, it's $30,000 now. I'm like, okay, interesting. And then California itself gives you a $4,500 check if you buy a hydrogen mobile, right? And then federal guys, they're giving me another $8,000, right? Wow. So that's $12,500, right?
Wow.
And then Toyota gave me a $15,000 hydrogen gas card. Right, so that's
you're down to like $15,000 out of pocket at this point.
No, now I'm $27,500 is gone. So that's $2,500 for the car, right? That's the remaining, because remember we got the $20,000 off. So $30,000 minus $15,000, right, for the gas card, because you got to pay for gas, right? Okay. So it's actually only now $15,000.
Oh, $15,000. You said $1,500.
No, $15,000.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Right? And then the $12,500 in credits, because I make enough money that I can get those credits, right? So I'm all actually down to $2,500, right?
Yeah.
And then I had a car lease with before that with Chevy, and I went up to them and said, "Listen, I got 6 months on this left. You pay this off, I'll pick up the car." And they said, sure, we'll pay your 6 months lease off. I'm like, what? And then I was like, okay. And that was $1,800. I think my lease was, no, it was $1,200. I got $1,200 of credit, so maybe 4 months of lease, right? So that's what I remember, right? So, and then I said, hey, you're paying off the lease. You're going to keep it over here. Why do you want to just give me the car? I'll just take it back. They're like, fine, we'll give you the car too.
I don't understand.
So exactly. So they paid me for the car, and then they gave me the car too. So then I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I went and sold my lease to somebody else, and I made another like $2,000 because I had some equity in the car.
So you actually made money buying this car.
I made
buying
money,
a new car.
Right? So then at the end of the day, it comes to $0. There's no money in it, right? Now, we own real estate. We drive to Bakersfield. I ride off this car.
Yep.
So this brand new car is actually making me money now.
That's awesome.
Every mile I drive, I'll make 56 cents on it.
That should be like a subtitle. How to make a car an asset.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
that's
then,
super creative though. Not many people can pull that
And then
off.
there's a totally different thing nobody even has realized yet. I have a car, right? It's cost me nothing. It's making me money, right? I can sell this car now.
Oh. Wow.
If I sell this car for $10,000, can I sell a $50,000 car for $10,000?
Yes. And especially right now in this market where used cars are like hot.
I just made $10,000.
Wow.
After driving this car for however long.
Yeah. So that's
just one of the ways I'm insanely creative to do this. This is how I do my real estate deals.
Right. Yeah. So I was going to just, kind of talk to the audience for a second. Like, do you guys understand like the level his brain works on? My brain does not work like that. If you had partnered with me, I'd have kept it real simple. It'd been black and white.
Hey, you give me $100, you get $6, 6% interest. Let's
Vince
go.
is chopping up pies and divvying it out, and everyone's coming up, but they don't even know what's happening. And maybe that's part of what scares some people, though. I remember my mom got all like, "Hey, well, what's happening? You said this."
Your mom still thinks I'm scamming.
I know, dude. Well, no, she doesn't.
Yeah.
But we were in Hawaii on a family trip, and mom had a couple cocktails and was like, "Hey, well, what's going on with this?" Even though she's getting money every month and her income, not income, but net worth is increasing like crazy. Even though she literally made all her money back within a couple months, she just doesn't understand, and she's self-admittedly is not great with numbers. She'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And which is fine, but yeah, because it's so creative, and it loses people, and I think that's part of the issue when I'm trying to tell people how good this thing is that we have. It loses people for whatever reason, because of how we're breaking it up, even though it's really not even that creative. How we divvy up like
the deal with your mom's case.
Yeah,
that was the easy deal.
It's an easy deal, but she still doesn't even understand like how it all works. So maybe that's.
And I had to do it, dude. The things I had to do to close that deal, that was crazy. There's no way anybody else could have done that deal too.
What'd you have to do to close that deal?
Remember, your mom was working at the post office. She was going to quit, and I had to make her not quit.
Yep.
Push her as long as I can till we close the deal.
And why? Why is that? Just so the audience knows.
So just that you guys know, Drew's mom, worked at the U.S. Post Office, and she had some money saved up in six figures, and then we borrowed some money out. We withdrew some money from her 401k retirement because she's 59 and a half, and there's no penalty, right? And then we dumped it into a duplex in Fontana, and then people were like, "Oh, it's Fontucky." I'm like, rule number one of trolling people is you should be able to afford what you're trolling about. Like, if you can't afford it, you need to calm down. Like, you're poor.
For the record, I heard the same thing when I would tell them, "Oh, I'm going to drive up to Fontana and whatever, we were doing stuff." Side note, Vince and I are kind of weird in that we're white collar guys, so we like to pretend we're blue collar guys and go up there with our team.
And we are the worst.
Go paint. We're wasting time, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Changing receptacles, little dummy things that I can handle. I'll do those. But point is we went up there and I had some friends being, "Oh, Kentucky this, Kentucky that," and I'm like,
You're renting in Santa Ana.
Don't even talk to me. You live in a closet and you don't even own that.
For
closet.
all the people listening, I'm sure you're listening to this one. We bought that property for $530. It's worth $630. It hasn't been a year. So your mom put less than $100,000 down. She's 100% got her money in equity. She doesn't
Yep.
have it back in hand.
Yep.
But we could refi, but the rates are higher, so
Sure.
we can't really refi right now. But who cares? We don't really need the money.
Well,
but
and the best part about that, and I don't know if we've mentioned this in podcasts before, but is the fact that she is retired, and let's just call it what it is. She's not very savvy with finances, and so one of the best parts about this is she's now making preferred returns. Let's talk about the real winner. That this thing is appreciating better than any asset we've ever owned. So she's getting all that windfall. That's play money, and that's tax free. If we decide to pull it out at one point.
I told her when we were going to buy this property that I said, I will make you more money in 1 year than you've made your entire life working in the U.S. Post Office. She's like, you are on drugs. And then in 1 year.
Oh, we should
It's
should
true.
have my mom on the podcast. We should just this here. We should just have the numbers. This is exactly what it is. Here, look it up on Zillow. You look it up. I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
And just and then break it down and just subtract what it's valued at versus what we bought it and explain how that works.
She's going to move to Leisure World.
Man, yeah. She's like, but that's going to be a problem. She's like, well, give me the money then.
Yeah.
Sell it,
Yeah,
We're
right.
like, okay, well, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
At least it's an option, though. We could sell it in this market for sure.
The other thing, too, it is a duplex in Fontana. And, anything, happens, like she can't afford the rent and stuff. Now she's got a house in the back.
And
she
that's
can live there
exactly,
forever.
and that's where I was going to go because it's a duplex. It's a nice duplex in a nice area.
It's half an acre of land.
That's a lot of land, So, but yeah, she can move in. At the end of the day, we could just not renew a lease.
I'm going to raise her rent, though.
All right. Mom, your rent's going up 25%.
25%.
But
3 day or quit.
in my journey of building my just the empire with just what Vince and I do with my own thing, which is a music school, with now the realtor thing, and I'm doing all this stuff, and a big part of it is because I know eventually I'm gonna have to take care of Mom. Straight up, I know. I saw it a long time ago. I've been working since I was 12.
Let's be real, dude. Let's be real with our listeners, right? Why do we even do this, right? I mean,
Sure.
for me, not a lot of people know, but I'm pretty much going to give most of it away to charity or something when I'm it's going to be in a trust, and it's all the cash flow is going to go away. Because really, do you need $20 million? I don't need $20 million. I'm pretty sure $20,000 a month is enough for me.
For me, it's for me on the selfish end, it's freedom.
Freedom, of course, yeah.
Just
this is after that.
Fill in the blanks on what that means to you. But yes, freedom is huge.
And
but
also helping
it's also that comfort of knowing that I can take care of Mom, or I can take care of my uncles or my dad or whatever comes up. It's you can say money's bad. You can say money's the root of all evil. But I'll tell you what, man. I would hard disagree, because what money has done for me is it's helped me to take care of my mom. And let's just say, worst case scenario, she dumps all of her money into something, whatever. Who knows? Life is crazy, right?
Timeshare.
She has nothing. You went there.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm gonna send this to Mom. She's gonna be like, "Hey guys, that timeshare was nice." Anyways,
We used it.
yeah, we did. We actually. Yeah. Point is, worst case scenario, it all goes to hell for her. We can at least put her in a nice place, in a nice little spot out in Fontana. She's very close to us. We can go visit. She can come visit us. It's right down the freeway, and never raise her rent. And we'll just eat it. It's fine. Who cares? Mortgage is the same. Doesn't matter. And the fact that we have that ability to do that already takes a huge weight off of my shoulders, because I still grind just as hard. But now I know, all right. I mean, she's good, dude. She's good now, just with that problem.
She will never be homeless.
Dude, isn't that great?
If realistically speaking, if we didn't have that one, we have 28 other houses she can move to.
right.
It's going to be in Bakersfield.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yes,
and now we have
absolutely.
Mentone.
Absolutely. But and all the appreciation, and sure, now there's.
But that's the thing.
cash
That's the
flow.
thing. We have these opportunities because we have these houses. Like
Yeah.
your mom or my mom, they can move into these places, right? People say, oh, money doesn't solve all your problems, but you know what money solves? All of your money problems.
All of your money problems. I like
It's
that.
gone.
Yeah, man. I mean, once I got it right that money doesn't make you a bad person, wow, it was all a shift for me, because I was like, wait, I feel like I'm a good person. And I was like, well, if I make money, I'll just be a good person times 10, And so far I've done that. So far, that's exactly the legacy I've been trying to leave, whether it's doing that for mom or helping people who partner with us. It's great. Watching everybody come up with us has been, the best part of the whole game. So we kind of rabbit trailed on this one a little bit, but back to, I guess, the original topic of creative, deal structuring, essentially. If you want to get into real estate, if you want to start making things happen, you are infinitely resourceful. Know that. You are infinitely resourceful. You have no money. You have $10 to your name. Cool. You can still do it. Study. Find someone and do seller financing. Figure it out. There's always a solution, especially now with the fact that we have a thing in our pocket that has access to all the information, all of it, whatever you want to know. You don't even have to touch a button to get the information. You can ask Siri.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I say get started, get hungry, get after it, because life is tough. It throws you curveballs, and if you don't stay ahead of the curveballs, you're gonna get hit in the face with it, and then you got to figure it out. And now your nose is broken. So
once you get enough confidence in these things, now I'm getting into escrow with no money, and I'm like, I'll raise the money.
Yep.
Right. And then that's the deal I'm doing right now, right?
Right.
In Orange County. And then I'm like, one of my buddies he's like, oh, I can't really, because he's trying to do another deal, so he can't really help me. I'm like, he's like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, don't worry about me, bro. I'm gonna close the deal.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna close it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'll just figure it out, right?
Yep.
But those are insane stuff. But traditionally speaking, you wanna.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So I guess, to wrap for anyone listening, how you can take now all that value that we were just kind of talking about and apply it to yourself. So here's what I would say. I'm going to let you definitely, finish the final point, because you could definitely go a little more in depth. But I would say education. If you don't have the money, bring the value. Value. I guess, value is the real answer. Bring value. Figure out a way to bring value to somebody's life. You and a mentor, don't call them and say, hey, will you be my mentor? Call them and say, hey, what can I do for you today? What kind of coffee do you like? You like it black? You like it cold? Iced? I'll bring it. Whatever. Bring value to somebody in any way that you can. Figure it out. And the way that, we've done that, especially Vince, is just knowing more than anybody else in the room. Straight up. Like literally coaching lenders and realtors how to do their job. That's what I've watched him do for years now. And so that's the value, and then I'm bringing value in that. I'm able to help manage the deal, manage the managers, and maybe even bring some money to the table, and help repair things if I have to, and go up and just make sure this train is still moving as smoothly as possible. But it's ultimately everything in the world comes down to value.
Nasheen's calling. Hot babe alert. Yeah, we'll talk to her after.
So we'll have to get her on the podcast soon.
Yeah.
All right. So did you want to wrap on anything else? Final notes from Vince.
Yeah, on creative strategies and how to close. Yeah, just try to be as valuable as you can. Learn as much as you can. If Drew says like I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room for myself, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm at Jake and Gino and like Ron Khalif and stuff. But I can say like I can hang out with these
keep
guys.
Up.
Yeah, I can keep up with these guys. So so just learn more. Find yourself valuable. When the first in the beginning when we were partnering. People were like telling me like, oh yeah, find the deal, analyze the deal, put the deal together, structure the deal, and then collect the rents, and I'll give you 5% of the deal. And you know how many units they own now? 0 units. They only own the units they bought with me, right? So it's like I can tell in the beginning that people don't value you. I told them, you don't. The problem with this is like not the deal structure or whatever you think. It's you just don't value me enough.
Yeah,
that's the biggest mistake you're going to make this year.
Yep.
Right.
Ultimately, what has happened is, in the face of no's and just bad offers, we just plowed forward and kept moving and kept acquiring assets and ultimately comes down to building our brand, and our brand says value. I don't even know it sometimes, but a friend, when they call me, will ask me about what's going on, how they can get involved. And I was like, oh yeah, people are learning about this brand thing. This is cool. I'm not even doing anything. They're just they're calling my phone on a Monday and asking me how does this work? What can I do? And So it's been nice, you know. But build a brand, build your reputation. Be honest, have integrity, figure it out. If you're sitting on money, cool. Maybe that's your value. If you're willing to, you know, educate yourself, make that your value. If you just figure out a way to put yourself into the deal by bringing something to the table. There's so many ways to structure a deal. There's so many creative ways. And if you guys want more, you can message us on our website, onbeinvest.com. We answer messages from that all the time. You can even check out what we're doing, check out our other podcasts, check out our videos that we've done, our portfolio. You can see it. It's all there. We're super transparent about what it is that we're doing and how it all works. And if you guys have any questions, you can always message us on there or DM us on our Instagram at onbeinvest, Facebook at onbeinvest, all that stuff. Vince, any final thoughts?
Yeah, the best way to reach me, I would say, is to come to our meetups, because I know I get a lot of emails and calls. Yeah. They're like, hey,
come to our
can I pick your brain
first
for
Wednesday of the month? If you're local to Orange County, definitely would advise coming to those.
Because
so far, dude, so many people I've talked to, like your buddy Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm pronouncing that right. Hopefully he doesn't mind him, calling his name out on this, but he was just talking with us today. He's gotten involved now. He's trying to. He's realized.
He's cool,
dude. I need to get an asset. I've got a family.
If you add an I to his name, that was my first girlfriend's name, Mayuri.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mayuri? Nice. All right. Well, cool. Anyways, make sure you guys get out to our meetups. And if you guys have any questions, send them to our DMs or to our website, and we'll try to answer those. And if you guys have topic ideas, that's awesome too. Bring those in. And if you are a high net worth individual or just a gangster and involved in some kind of investments or real estate, we want to talk to you. We'd love to sit down with you, pick your brain, and get you on the podcast. So feel free to reach out for that reason as well. Signing off. This is Andrew and Vince from On the Invest.
Peace.